If you can hear me, I had a little bit of a glitch getting into Facebook Live through my laptop, hence the delay. So hopefully this is recording okay and you guys can hear me. So today's narrative or topic today that I want to talk about is how does our narrative impact on our lives, on how we feel, on our presence, on our energy. So before we begin, I'd like to just invite you to come into your center, your heart space, and let go of the world that has been. Let go of the busyness of your morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. So I just invite you to close your eyes and just breathe into the center of your heart. And just focus on your breathing. Allow it to deepen. And feel yourself. Hi Cherie, thanks for letting me know that you're watching. I know that this is working, that's awesome. And just breathe into your heart space and observe your breath lengthening, deepening. And breathing in to receive and open, and breathing out to release and let go. Maybe giving a sigh as you breathe out, inviting the body to let go of any stress or tension, nervousness, worry. And breathing into different areas of your body that you may be aware are carrying some tension right now. And just invite them to surrender to the breath. And release that tension as you breathe out. And now I'd like to involve a little bit of visualization. Visualization's a really beautiful tool to kind of create more energy. So now place inside your heart a beautiful aspect of nature. It could be a bird, it could be a tree, a flower. And imagine like a flower, if that's what you've chosen, or a tree. Trees grow towards the light, flowers open to the sun, birds sing to the world. And just place it inside your heart and close your eyes and just breathe into that symbol of beauty. And then breathe out to let go. Breathing into that symbol of beauty. And breathing out to let go. Now breathing into the colours of your symbol. Soaking it up like a sponge and breathing out to let go. And we do this exercise long enough for you to start to feel a shift in your energy, where you start to feel calmer, quieter, centered, relaxed. And sometimes it helps to put your hand on your heart to anchor your energy here. And what we're doing is we're trying to give the mind a job to do. The mind can be very busy and can take us into little tangents of worry and anxiety. And then thoughts can come from that energy of anxiety that are very negative. So what we're trying to do here is bring ourselves back into this energy of beauty and allowing beauty and nature to anchor us into peace and calm and into the source of who you are. Into the silence. Now imagine if you're a bird sitting on a tree, feeling the wind beneath your feathers, smelling the fragrance of the tree that you are perched on, feeling the warmth of the sun fill you up with joy, where you just want to sing for the sheer joy of celebrating this day. This is the gift of birds. They sing in the day, in the morning, the wee hours of dawn. As we are still sleeping in our beds, they begin with song. And they end their day with song. And they gather with each other and go on a flight together. So I invite you, when you go on walks, take your earplugs out, your music out, and just listen to the gift of nature. So here we're beginning to develop a narrative of beauty, allowing beauty to anchor you into healing energy, the source of who you are. So I always start by bringing myself into my heart, stilling my mind, and I always begin with my breath. It allows me to shift out of the busyness of my day, the busyness of, for example, me worrying about I can't get Facebook Live working on my laptop. So let's be with my breath, stay calm, do what I can, find my phone, improvise, go with the moment. That's my narrative. I could get stuck at any moment in a glitch, give up, run a different story. I wouldn't have gone on live. Or I just stay, pivoted, this is what I need to do, it doesn't matter. I just got to find a way to persevere through this challenge and make it happen. So a little bit of an introduction about me. I'm an energy healing therapist. I work with people on the energy field. I started out my healing journey as a nurse, spent several years working in a hospital, then private nursing, working with eating disorders. I had a personal journey looking after my dad with schizophrenia, which gave me a bit of insight into the troubled mind and how it can slip us up and how we can get stuck and lose our way. And then I started learning massage therapy, so I learned a lot about the physical body. I discovered that our body is a walking narrative. It's a walking storybook. It holds everything that's ever happened to us. So I found that fascinating. When I had my first ever massage, I discovered soreness I had no idea existed until someone touched that area and it felt sore, it felt tender. And then often during the massage, emotions would come up relating to that area because that's where I'd held that story. Something else I'll share about the physical body is, do you notice sometimes when you are caught in an uncomfortable situation with someone in dialogue and you want to share more, you want to say more, but somehow you block yourself from fear, from speaking, and then you can feel quite tight and uncomfortable, almost like an ache in your throat. That's like your throat chakra is shutting down, because really we're not meant to live from a place of fear. We're meant to live from a place of freedom, from being in our truth and the safety of our own worth. But what happens along life is we have experiences that knock us back. As children, it starts very young. We're very influenced by the world around us. We're very influenced by our peers, by our parents. We sense and feel everything. We don't have so many filters on. So we can be affected by how a person speaks to us, their tone, in as much as the words that they say or do not say, and their energy. And it can make us feel unworthy. And a sense of unworthiness develops its own narrative that can be quite belittling and filled with self-doubt. And over the course of the years, I developed my own narrative around that. I developed a story where I told myself I had to be the peacemaker, the helper, in order to feel worthy, in order to feel acceptable. But I neglected my own needs along the way. The good side of that is that it propelled me into nursing, and it propelled me into wanting to help others. So that was a good side of it. But then I was always doing this striving to kind of help people enough so that I could tell myself I was okay at the end of the day. And then what do you do when you're giving out your love and then it's not received, or someone doesn't want it, or they say words to you that really cut to the bone? What do you do then? If you've got a narrative inside of you that's saying I'm not good enough, then those words can really hit you. And then that negative narrative gets stronger and stronger. So being aware of our thoughts, the stream of our thoughts, when you are feeling down, when you're feeling unsettled, is a really good point as to what's really going on. An example I want to give you where I became very clear about my capacity to change my own narrative was when I was overseas in England. I'd only been there about 3 weeks, And unexpectedly, I found out that my sister, Joy, was dying. What was I to do? It had just arrived. I couldn't just suddenly jump on a plane and fly home. I'd spent all these years saving money for this big trip, and I'd just arrived. And then we found out literally within a week that she did die in Australia. What do I do? And I remember on the day that I found out, it was a real challenge, because I was living in a busy house. I was dossing on the lounge floor with 2 others. I think there were about 13 of us staying in this house at the time, so there wasn't any privacy. And yet I had a need to grieve. So I put my sunglasses on and allow trickles of tears to silently escape. I'd go to the toilet to grieve. I remember the phone ringing, and it was a nursing agency inviting me to do a job. And I had to be honest. I said, well, my sister just died today. I think I ought to tell you that. And they said, oh, sorry, we won't give you this job. And I said, no, this job sounds like it's a fit for me. Because the job was looking after a young man with schizophrenia. And growing up with my father with the same illness, I knew that I had the experience and the insight to help this family. And I knew that I needed a sense of purpose to help me through this difficult time, because I was so far away from family. So the day after my sister died, I began that job, and it helped hugely, because I chose the narrative of, I remember saying to myself when I was on the train going into town, I went sightseeing on the day she died, because I thought, I can't just sit here and be overwhelmed with all these strange people around me. I need to do something to help me feel settled and feel safe. So I remember saying to myself, I cannot change that this has happened. I can't change the fact that Joy has died. But I am in charge of how I manage this within myself. So I chose on that day and many months forward to take care of myself, to be kind and loving, and to allow myself to cry. You know, often as adults, we're very hard on ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to cry. We're so hard and going, what's wrong with us? You know, if your child came up running, crying, you'd give them a hug and you just hold them. So I think it's a really good reminder to kind of reclaim our inner child and ask, what do I need in this moment? Another thing that helps me to anchor to positive energy, to shift negative narrative, is I say, in this moment, what would divine love say? And I'm saying divine love because we can have human love that can be quite insecure. It can be steeped in possession of another person and expectation. But divine love is more encompassing. It's unconditional. So this is a really good technique I use all the time when I get stuck in the negative narrative and I catch myself out. I go, I need to come back into my heart. I need to start breathing into love and ask myself, knowing myself as this love, knowing myself as this connection to divine source, to God, whatever word suits you. What would love say to me right now to help me in this difficulty? And then you breathe and you wait. And then I might get a pen and a paper to jot down what comes. This is how I meditate every morning. I sit down and I do my breathing. I light a candle. I create a scene of reverence. This is my time to connect with me, my inner narrative, my inner sage. So I light a candle. I create a nice cozy space. I sit in a nice cushion. I get a beautiful blanket to wrap myself up in. It all sets the scene for me feeling safe, comfortable and loved, to anchor myself into that love energy, so I get that narrative that is supportive and aligned with source energy. And then I always get words and kindness that are very supportive and loving. So another example I can give you is I remember during the earthquakes, I had another death. I had my dad die. He died about 10 days before the first major earthquake here in New Zealand in September. And I remember the night before, I was just sitting on the couch and saying, if I can just stop now, if I can just rest and relax and just have time to grieve. And then, of course, the wee hours of the morning, the earth shook and all hell broke loose. And we were just flung into a world of fear and fight-flight. So my world was interrupted. My cycle of grieving was interrupted. And I just went into coping mode, keeping family safe, dealing with all the aftershocks. A few months later, I injured my shoulder because I'd become disconnected from my own heart space and my body and where it was holding it all. So I hurt my shoulder, and then I had to stop. I had to start and listen to me and come back into me and go, it's time. I need to come in for me and give myself my moment to hear my heart and to ask what it needs. So I've had things that have happened in life that have given me the opportunity to, how do I handle this? How do I handle this? I can't change it's happened, but how can I manage this? And that's your inner power, your inner choosing, your inner choice. This brings me to the narrative of the COVID virus. You know, in the early days, I used to think it was a little bit funny and we'd make little jokes about it. It wasn't as serious in the very beginning, but now it is. Now it is. And people, I'm blown away by the courtesy of New Zealanders over here and walking, keeping their 2-metre distance and taking their time and being patient, and there's a lot of compassion that's growing in our nation, which gives me great hope that we're growing through this, and that perhaps we can notice what's going on our beautiful planet also and start to change our narrative around how we live, change our narrative on how we see each other. So you do notice how you feel when you start getting caught up in negativity, where you might be judging another person or judging yourself. It doesn't feel great. So there's your clue. Your body's already trying to say to you, you've gone off pitch. Now you're feeling crappy. So get back in line and try to reset yourself. And so, yeah, daily I do this. I go, we're in lockdown, but how can I take care of myself in the best possible way? So I walk daily in nature. That's my pick me up. I meditate, and then I listen to my team, my spiritual entourage. So I'm a channel for light language, and light language is an energy language, and I bring through healing sounds and frequencies that have the capacity to work on your energy field. And it feels beautiful to be a part of this beautiful work. I just feel like I'm totally immersed in a bath of unconditional love. So it's a beautiful way to be of service, and that's why I'm doing this Facebook Live, to kind of introduce this offering to you, that I can bring through these beautiful healing frequencies and help us all to feel better. And anytime I get stuck, I'll tune into my team and I'll say, I need some help here. Help me. And quite often I'll get activated into light language. When I go and walk in nature, I'll stop by a tree and I'll hear a bird sing, and I'll talk to the birds in the language of light, and they just resonate with it because it's the energy of light. It's the energy of unconditional love. It's the energy of source, God creative energy. So it's pure. And I like to call it the universal language of the soul. So I'm aware that I've been on here for about 22 minutes, and I'd really like to give you a taste of receiving light language. So before I do that, place your hand on your heart and just close your eyes and just invite your heart to reveal what it needs right now. What would it like what would you like support with right now? What are your areas of struggle? Are there any kind of persistent negative beliefs, negative narrative that really bogs you down, that really sabotages you from receiving the good the world has to offer? Is there a negative fear narrative going on about the COVID virus that's been getting in your way of just coming into peace? Peace in the present moment, because none of us really know what's going to happen around the corner. All we have is this current moment, and in this current moment it is your divine right to feel joy, to feel innate beauty and inner peace and love. So just take a moment to breathe into your heart, to feel into what is it that I need right now. And my team will work with the collective, will work with you individually to meet what your soul is longing for. And when you hear the light language, be centered in your breath. Sometimes it brings up emotion, and if emotion rises to the surface, be gentle, be kind. Be like the sun that shines on the river, allowing the river to flow to the sea. going with the flow, not making it wrong, but just allowing. Be the comforter, like the inner mother, the inner father to your inner child, to your inner wounds. This is the energy of love. This is the way of compassionate action upon yourself. And so we're going to be bringing in some beautiful healing energy. The Divine Mother, Mother Mary, and the collective of the Divine Feminine, but also the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, the Yin and the Yang, because we're in this pivotal point of time of all of humanity coming together and learning to work together in harmony. Like the yin and the yang, like the river flows to the ocean, like the flower opens to the sun. There's the yin and the yang, there's the immersion in the supportive energies of our world and with each other. Ni kora tia surushkata, kira tia makati surushkata, ki tora tia makati surushkata, ki ka ki tia makatu sari shkutushkata, mikatu sakarati surushkata, kira tia surushkata, ki urishkata. So invite to be released from anything that has been sabotaging your sense of worthiness and your connection to the divine. Ki kutu sakati surushkatushka, like dusting yourself off so you can shine again, removing the dust. Removing the weeds, the hooks, the energy hooks that pull you into other people's drama and stories, especially the negative stories they might have about you. Unhook them, release them, dissolve them, offer them up to the unconditional love of God. Just like the beautiful sunlight sanitizes your form and enlivens you. Breathe into the beautiful sun. This is the invitation to spend time in nature and to soak and to be like a sponge and just breathe into every aspect of beauty that is here, inviting you to feel connected and one with this beautiful planet and one with your heart and soul, one with beauty, that you are beauty, that you are beautiful without measure. So offer up old trauma, offer it all up, the old stories. Be willing to reset and restart anew. Ki kaketa ki tia sorushkata ki tia sorushkata ki kurta samukta kia ti sorushkata shtushkati sorushkata ki tia sorushkata ki tia sorushkata. Be willing to transcend the ego. Be willing to transcend the stories of defense. Ekokoshkati sorushkata. Be willing to give up blame. Ki koshkata samukti sorushkata krushkata kitu. Be willing to forgive. Ekokoshkati soru. Forgive is not forgetting, but it's allowing the soul to learn and grow and be forgiven for the mistake of that moment, and to begin again, to reset and come into the story of who you truly are, which is this unconditional love. Treat yourself like the innocent child, the mother coming in to nurture and hold that innocent child, because that child innocently had a stumble, had a fall. They didn't mean to do it, it just happened. And now imagine your hands are open like a goblet wanting to be filled with your inner heart's desire. Do you want to feel more joy? It is your divine right. It's within you. Joy is innate. It is within you. So let's tune into the energy of joy. Like a goblet being filled up with liquid love. Do you limit the amount of joy that you allow yourself to feel? Abandon the limits. You're worthy enough to have unlimited joy. Joy can be found in the simplest of moments. What can you find that's joyful in your period of lockdown? Can your passion need a little bit of embracing? What are your creative passions? pursuits, hobbies, things that you absolutely love to do. Do you give yourself enough time to nurture those? Time for creativity is so important. It's part of your creative mastery. We're made in the image of God. We are divinely creative. So we need to allow ourselves time to be creative, to allow our juices to flow, to be joyous, to be free. Creativity can find many expressions. Through the movement of the body, through the painting of a brush, through song, through writing. Anything that's creative. Be very childlike and light within yourself. Your capacity to bring a smile to another person is creative. Giving a single flower to a person is creative. Picking up the phone and saying to someone, I love you, is creative. It is the creative use of your love vibration and extending that out and immersing that within your world to create beauty in your world. So now we can acknowledge that you are divinely powerful and you are the inner alchemist. You have this capacity to transform and transcend any difficult situation into one of beauty, into one that serves your highest good. Kia. Now just allowing yourself to settle, placing your hand back on your heart. And just saying these words to yourself. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am the gift that I seek. I am the joy that I seek. I'm infinitely wise and beautiful. And I have everything that I need inside of me. And I just want to wind up with a beautiful mirror exercise I got taught. One of my first teachers was Louise Hay. Her book called You Heal Your Life allowed my own inner narrative to change quite dramatically when I was about age 17. And she's got a book out called Mirror Work as well. And then I did a course with Lisa Nichols about reclaiming your voice also. So this exercise is something I give out to my clients and something I use myself from time to time when I know I need a bit more help to reset and get back into being loving. And it goes like this. You stand in front of the mirror and place your hand on your heart and you say your name. And you go, so I would say it like this, Linda, I am proud of. And you find 7 things to be proud of. So we begin with being proud to build yourself up. So I would say, Linda, I am proud of doing my Facebook Live, for example. Linda, I'm proud of going on my walk today. Linda, I'm proud of the way I've navigated my difficult relationships with some of my family members, for example. And on to find your 7. Then you go to the word forgive. So you go, Linda, I forgive myself for. And you find 7 things to forgive yourself for. So it could be that, Linda, I forgive myself for losing my rag with my daughter last night, for example. And then you finish with, I commit. So you go, Linda, I commit to. So it could be, Linda, I commit to doing weekly Facebook Lives to be of service in any way I can. Linda, I commit to my daily walks in nature. Linda, I commit to doing this mirror work every single day, for example. And do this daily. It's difficult in the very beginning. Some people might even find it really hard to actually do this in front of the mirror. So begin away from the mirror and then work towards being able to do it in the mirror. And keep it up. You know, I'd love to hear your comments about whether you managed to get to do this exercise. And just to recap, it's three aspects to it. The first one is what you're proud of. The second one is what you can forgive yourself for. And the third one is what you commit yourself to. And you say your name. You find 7 things. So thank you for watching, and I welcome your comments. What is your narrative? How's your narrative served you or worked against you? What have you noticed? How that's played on yourself and how you feel? How's it played itself in the others around you? I look forward to hearing back from you. Blessings on your beautiful day, and thank you so much for listening. My heart to your heart. Namaste.